So we will,
There's some bills if she
Mail
wants to
mail
grab it.
distribution house.
does that look okay?
Can
We
I
will-
make a suggestion?
No bills that big.
Do you have a book for for the
bill.
year?
Yes.
So at the beginning of the year, I know what night,
That's what I said.
and
Okay.
you do it for every.
I'm sorry.
We will do that. We will pledge the flag now. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. This meeting will be called to order. I'll call the roll. NBC.
Aye.
Here. Nicholas, I'm here. Kevin, here. Tom Lennon is not here. Agnes is excused. Mayor Kramer is excused. Iris is here.
Yes,
And Ed Ward is not. January Adams is here. This meeting of the Franklin Township Public Library is being held in accordance with the Open Public Meetings Act, also known as the Sunshine Law. Schedule and notification have been provided to the Courier News, the Home News Tribune, and the Franklin Township Clerk. Copies have been posted in the library's vestibule and are available at the reference desk. We will open the public portion of the meeting, and I understand that there is no public portion, no one at this moment. And minutes of the prior meeting. I think we've all gotten the minutes of the prior meeting. Is there any, first of all, is there a motion to approve them?
I so move.
A second.
Iris and Kevin. Is there any discussion of the minutes? Seeing no discussion, I'll call for a vote. Those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? None. Okay. Directors' reports. January?
Let's look at the financial first.
Okay. We've done that. January, do you have any particular concerns about the spending rates?
No, everything seems to be pretty much on course.
Okay, that's what I seem to gather with it. Does anybody have any questions about the financial, about any of the financial reports?
I'm just curious, I mean, it didn't look like there'd be much impact of the minimum wage increase. Do
I
you
was
think?
Yeah.
going to
Is it
discuss
big?
that separately.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah. Okay.
Would you like to make any comments on the financial reports or
No.
go on to your program
I'd like
report?
to go on to the program report.
Okay.
We had a very high number of people this past period at our programs,
Oh
2001.
my
Wow.
goodness, that's unbelievable.
113 programs. And of course, one of the major ones during this time was Maker's Day. We had it at both locations, the main library and the branch. And we had many different activities. We had the programming robots, and we had sessions on the evolution of robots. And then they had a nice feature, I thought. Some attendees were making crafts for dog and cat toys. They made squares for a quilt for a woman's shelter. They made 81 cards for children at the Children's Specialized Hospital. And on, and it was a
Very
great day.
nice,
It was a
very
great
nice.
day. And all of the winter programs are over. We had 14 teens that read 87 titles. We had 44 adults that read 244 books. And we had 68 children who read for 42,945 minutes. And recorded 623 books. These are children's books, that's why there's so many.
Yeah.
And I think that was just about it for the highlights.
Okay. Are there any comments or questions for January on her program reports? Seeing none, I will move on to the President's report, of which there is none. So we will move on to correspondence and communication. I think we've all gotten the certificate from the Franklin Women's Club.
Very nice.
And
Yeah, for Kevin's benefit, this is something that we do every year for the Women's Club. They ask for donations, so we give them our best donated books that we get. And they're always very nice, and they always give us this nice certificate at the end.
And this is Franklin's Women's Club.
Women's
right?
Club, yeah, it's for their fundraiser that they have every year.
Okay. That's a nice thing.
And then you guys got 2 articles this month. You had an article about a movie called The Public, which I haven't had a chance yet to see. And then you had another one about the book club experience that I hope you read and enjoyed.
Yes.
You like that? Of course, that is. Yeah.
is there any old business? Seeing no old business, any new business?
Okay.
January?
Okay, now I wanted to talk to you about the new law about the minimum wage going up. You probably already know this, but as of July 1st, it's going to go from $8.86 to $10. That's a raise of $1.14, and then again on January 1st, it's going up another $1, and it'll go up $1 a year until it reaches $15 a year. It's going to hit us hard this year because we're on a fiscal year. So we're going to get hit twice with the $1.14 and with the $1. And at first glance, it doesn't seem like, well, it's not that much money. It's minimum wage, but it's a little more complicated than that because if we have to raise the salaries of the shelvers, then we need to also raise the hourly wages of the other hourly people here. For example, we've have somebody maybe working at the circulation desk for $12 an hour, and in a couple of years, the shelvers are going to be making the same rate. And those are 2 very different jobs. That working at the circulation desk is much more skilled than a shelver who's basically just putting books back on a shelf. So, just to let you know that this will have a pretty big impact on the budget that I'm going to be giving you probably next month. What I did was I looked at how many hours all the part-time people work. I added in $2.14 an hour, and that came out when I added in the FICA part, which is 7.65%. That came out to an increase of $43,804 just for the part-time hourly people. Then
That wasn't, okay.
Okay, go on. No.
That wasn't with the increase.
That's with the increase.
214.
I'm talking about for the other employees.
No,
that
No,
were
we haven't
mentioned.
gotten to the other
Okay.
No,
employees.
Yeah,
just,
Okay.
this is just the hourly.
That's
just
just the
the hourly.
shelvers. That would be just the shelvers. Then and that's why there's 2 of these. The apple green is if everybody else on the staff gets a 2% raise, and the lime green is if everybody gets a 3% raise. So if you look at the total, if it's a 2% increase, the increase to the salary line for fiscal year 1920 is going to be $71,296. If the board decides to give people a 3% increase, that's just the salaried people, the salaried and the part-time librarians, then it would become $85,042. And it's basically just an FYI, so you know what's coming when you see it in the budget.
So do we have to decide whether we have to,
2 or 3.
Well, you don't have to decide that part of it now.
no, but the 2%, whatever, we have to, that's mandatory.
No, the minimum wage part, the top,
But this is not.
the 2% of the 3% is optional.
Is-
That's on the other staff.
That's right.
Actually, if you look, I think if I did the math right, the minimum wage increase is 14%. It's a big increase. But next fiscal year, it won't be quite as bad, but it's gonna go up and up. And so, like I said, it's my feeling
Every year.
that if one group of employees here gets $1 an hour raise, all the other hourly people should get $1 an hour raise.
Sure.
To keep everybody, to keep
Equal.
the distance
That's
between
it,
everybody
that's-
the same.
I
That's
mean,
normal.
I've heard people who were against raising the minimum wage, mostly people who I know own small business, not so many, but the few that I do know. And from other people, I have, my daughter's in human resources, and that was one of the arguments was that they would the bottom would get raises and not necessarily the people over them, because it would seem when you say, okay, it's so great that the minimum wage is going to $15 an hour, but the people who were making $20 an hour are not going to $25 an hour.
Right.
But you have to raise them something.
And I think they should be raised.
It's not fair. Because another time there's a raise, they're getting the same income. It's not fair.
But there's two ways to look at it. Yes,
Right.
that's true, but
It wasn't
the
fair for
percentage
you.
of
Right.
the percentage of profit from the business. This is not a business, but it is a business. The percentage of profit. If the percentage of profit doesn't allow the businessman to
Right.
do that,
But they have to give them something.
I'm not saying not to give something, but I'm
Sure, that's what I'm
saying
saying.
that, but the percentage of
So the
profit
same.
does not
Oh,
there,
yeah.
then,
Did it not?
Right.
then
And if
you're
you
in
wanted
trouble.
to be totally fair,
Right.
you would give them the same percent, which
You can't.
it can't do
You
that.
can't do that.
But you have
It's
to give them
14%.
14%. You're not
Right,
going to
can't
give
do
everybody a 14%, but okay. I
It's a
guess.
difficult situation.
They look elsewhere for the job.
Oh, and I should add that our appropriation for the coming year will be $150,000. So we can absorb this, and we can increase some other lines too. So
What is the is it normal for the employees to get cost of living raises every year, or
No.
yeah,
Depends.
pretty much, yeah. They've been getting two or
They've been getting
2 or
two.
3% every year. Yeah, that's basically cost of living.
right? But I mean, I know even like when I worked for the government, even this year, my wife works for the government. They don't get any.
Oh, really?
No. Well, actually, they got 1%.
Yes.
They got 1%, but there were some years where
I was
They
just
did-
going to say
they
that
didn't
you're
get any.
absolutely right. I've been on this board for a very long time, and there were years when several of the board members said, I haven't gotten a raise, an increase in mine, so.
I'm not. I
Yeah.
mean, I'm not saying I don't think that they should
Right,
get it.
it's
I
just-
mean,
right.
I do, but I'm just saying that I know that there are, different situations where people don't.
Not everybody
Not
gets it.
everybody
The
gets.
hotels, 3 years I didn't get a raise.
Right.
You
So,
can't.
That's right, and I know there was some years on, like people who receive Social Security or people who receive disability. They usually, it varies. At one time, it was 2.6.
They raised
and
0.01%. but
right.
Last
It
year,
goes-
my social security.
Right, it goes like
It's
0.01%.
peanuts.
But anyway, I'm just thinking out loud.
What I would say is that we have a library which gives wonderful service. We have to compete with other libraries
Yeah.
in the county, and one of the things that's important is to know that we pay a comparable wage. And we don't have all that information, but I think we're in the process of getting it from, for instance, the Somerset County Library System. We'd like to know, I'd like to know
What they're paying.
what they're paying. Also, there are people across the street working for the township. What do comparable responsibility jobs pay there? We must remain competitive.
Right. Do we know what, like, say other Somerset employee, what their cost of living raises were?
You mean other libraries? Other libraries?
Other libraries or public works?
See, you can't compare
You
public
can't
works to
compare, it's
libraries.
apples and
Different,
oranges.
What I do is, the way I track is when I follow the want ads, the library want ads.
Okay.
So I know, for example, the job here that we started at the circulation desk for $12 an hour, Piscataway pays over 18.
Ooh.
Really?
Yeah. Yet there's
Big
some other
difference.
libraries, maybe more in the southern part of the state, that pay people at 10. So it's basically all over the map.
Township.
Okay.
Well, it also depends on what the area,
Yeah.
different geographic
yeah.
locations.
18. So
Well,
I'm just thinking, I mean,
Point is, we have to keep competitive
and I'm all for that.
And
I don't want to make it seem like I'm like
No,
No, no,
January's
no,
comments
we're in the
here.
same place you
Right.
are.
January's comments are,
Yeah, I'm
her
just trying to
expression that we
understand.
will remain as competitive as we can.
Right. I just was trying to understand where the numbers,
Well, it's okay.
You're
came from.
right on target.
Okay,
Okay, thank you, January.
thank you.
Is there any more on this?
Nope, we'll
Is there any
discuss
other
it.
new-
When will we discuss this again?
Probably at the next meeting,
Next
when
meeting,
when
May
we get the whole
22nd.
budget.
Budget.
But I just wanted to prepare you so you
For
would
what
see
is, yeah.
this one piece of it.
Okay.
Is there any other new business? Now that we've gone through a little bit of a meeting, Ann, is there any public
I
part
would
two?
appreciate getting a copy of the financials, and especially if somebody has a spare packet, or the 2 and 3%
Increase,
raise.
raise.
Oh,
things I'd like to
okay.
look- But also NJLA does have minimum salary recommendations for librarians, I believe also for professional, non-professional staff as well. I don't know where this library stands, with the NJLA minimums, but you certainly have a library where your employees need to be paid appropriately for their work.
Okay. Is there any other? Okay, I guess there isn't. Our next meeting will be held May 22nd. That's a Wednesday.
That's
Is there a mo-
Thursday, right?
Is there a motion?
Always
Yes,
Wednesday,
Wednesday, fourth Wednesday.
fourth Wednesday of the month,
Is there a motion to adjourn?
except in December. I so move.
A second.
Those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
We don't meet in July,
We are adjourned.
July is off, yeah.
no meeting in July.
6:16.
No meeting in July.
No, May and June, they're off.
And in December, we moved it up this year, I
Week
think,
before.
2 weeks before or a week before.
Now,
I wrote the 27th somewhere. Now I see the 27th is
Saturday.
Saturday. And,
No way.
no
do
way.
you have an extra copy to give Ann?
You can make a
That's
copy.
really a working document. It's got grids on it, I don't know.
Next month you can do it. Next month you
Next
can
month. The other stuff is okay. This stuff.
do it. Yeah.
Leave that to you.
So we